The following podcast contains spoilers and adult language. Listener discretion is advised.
Well, hey, Sarge here.
Oh, hey, Frenzy here.
From the Sarge Approved podcast up here in Minnesota.
Yeah, okay.
You're listening to the Showdown podcast.
And you better keep listening, don't you know?
Fuckers.
The Showdown Podcast presents the Survivor Series with Corey Miller, Vic Miller, and Brad Scott. This week's episode, Juice. Welcome to the three-time award-winning Showdown Podcast. I am joined as always in the evil lair, the Miller Zoo, by Corey. I've got the orange juice, Miller.
Word.
And via phone we are joined by Vic. What the fuck is juice? I want some orange drink, Miller. Okay, I want to make sure he was still there. He's in Delaware, so we never know if he's just going to get taken out. And I am Brad, crazier than Bishop Scott. And this is the Showdown Podcast. Today, we're very excited because we are talking juice, and we forgot to figure out what we were going to talk outside of that, but who cares? This is how the show goes. Sometimes. We just wing it. It's our post PopCon episode, but we have a special PopCon episode that you will hear soon.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll get all the highlights from our weekend, and we'll tell you all about it in that PopCon wrap-up episode. Thank you to everyone that came out and supported us. We really appreciated it. It was a fun weekend. Thanks again to Carl Doniger and everybody at PopCon for their hospitality. And again, you'll have all the details and all the happenings in our PopCon special episode. Check out for that. I can't talk right now.
In the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, look for that in the next couple of weeks. All right, how are you boys?
I'm okay.
I am fucking fabulous.
All right, Vic's in a good mood.
Oh, yeah.
So we're talking juice today, and let's all go around and share our experiences about when we robbed a convenience store when we were in high school and then shot one of our best friends. Vic?
That's racist.
How's
That
that
was
racist?
directly to me.
He was just,
Hey, you know what? I started with the black guy at least. Like you got to the front of the line, Vic.
That's just fucking affirmative action, so you're still not going down the right street.
Yeah, this is let's talk a little bit about Tupac.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
This was Tupac's first big film role, and kind of made him a crossover star.
Yeah.
Showed people he had a lot of range. He was an actual actor. Like this was. People forget Tupac's thug life was more of a character and persona. Like he went to the Baltimore School of Performing Arts. He didn't go to a rough. Vic's high school, I guarantee you, was rougher than Pac's.
Yeah. Did you see All Eyes on Me?
Yeah, hell, Corey's high school was probably rougher than Pac's. But then again, Corey's was learning to create fire, how to draw on caves.
Yes, very much so.
Woman good. Ugh. That was his final exam. Woman. And Corey couldn't get it right. He's like, woman bad. Woman good. Yes, Corey. Wait, was that you excited or was that Herman Munster?
A little both. Yeah, but they talked about this in All Eyes on Me. This was kind of all the movies that he did, this was really the only one that they really focused on. They didn't really talk about Poetic Justice.
They showed a scene from Poetic Justice, didn't they?
No, I don't think they did, and I don't even think they mentioned it, which is a weird thing too, because that was. I mean, they may have. I think they did I think they did mention it with Janet.
Janet Jackson gave Tupac the wrong phone number.
I'm not surprised.
Vic, did you see All Eyes on Me?
I did, but it was a long time ago.
Long time ago. It came out
just
like
came out
month.
this month. The
No, what
Tupac
was the other one
movie.
that they did for him.
No, we're talking
the
about.
movie. No, they did a documentary.
Documentary.
On him
Oh,
right after he
you're talking about
died.
Tupac Resurrection,
Yeah.
Yeah.
the MTV
Yeah, I
thing
didn't
where
see
it
the
was all
title of that one.
interviews.
Yeah.
Okay, no, we're talking about the movie.
That's why I was like, I know for a fact that they said something about there, but I wasn't going to say anything. But
They
it's 'cause
should
I'm
have
thinking of a
called-
whole nother movie.
They should have called
It's
this.
fucking-
Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say it's fucking it's Rocky all over again.
Yeah.
Like, watch the wrong movie. No, they should have called this the Studio Lifetime movie.
The
'Cause
All
this
Eyes
was a
on Me.
Lifetime movie with a small studio budget.
Yeah. They didn't talk about one of your favorites, Gridlocked.
They did talk about Above the Rim. They showed a scene when he was on set there.
Yeah, they talked about Above the Rim, and they talked a little bit about this. But other than that, they're not
gonna show the highlights when he was filming Gang Related with Jim Belushi
well, no.
and doing coke, I imagine. What was your thoughts on All Eyes on Me, Corey? Since you've seen it,
I thought it was good.
I feel like the two white guys on this show should discuss the Tupac movie while the
Right.
black guy sits awkwardly
I just think it's
on
funny.
the phone.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I thought it was good. I thought I had higher expectations, really, especially after coming off after Straight Outta Compton. I thought that this
Didn't have the
was
same budget.
apparently not. I didn't compare the two, but it was good, but it just wasn't as good as Straight Outta Compton. I mean, I think it relied a lot on the soundtrack because they'd have songs just come out of nowhere that would play. Not to say that they were misplaced. The songs were misplaced in the movie, but
It's a good thing you didn't look at the budget because it's time for another round of. I'm just kidding. We're not doing. No, Vic. No.
You almost got me too.
Yeah. Easy, big fella.
that would have been a good segue, really. But
So here's the thing. I was a little dampered going into it because of the whole like Jada Pinkett thing.
yeah,
But then I kind of realized like, well, yeah, Jada, it's Hollywood. It's a movie. Like,
they've got to exaggerate some
well,
things.
yeah, because here's the thing. Okay,
They've
so
gotta be able to tell a
So you
story.
didn't know he wrote you a poem until you saw it in a book. You know what would have been really fucking boring? Watching a scene where Jada Pinkett Smith reads a book
yeah.
and then discover, aha,
Or-
eureka.
Or that there's just no closure as far as the movie goes, and the story with her goes. There's just no closure to it at all.
I don't think there was in Life though either.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If they would have
Okay.
played it just like Life, then it was just people would have been going, "Why? What happened with that?"
I
You
mean,
know?
here's the thing. It was better than what I expected because my expectations got taken down a lot by what I'd seen people saying about it. I didn't think it was trash. I didn't think it was garbage. I think people were overreacting. The acting is cheesy, but they got the guy that played Suge looked the part.
Yeah.
The guy that played Snoop didn't sound the part. That sounded like Snoop overdubbing his own voice.
That's what I thought.
It never looked like that dude's mouth was moving.
No, and I was I went to the drive-in and saw it, so I didn't know if that was just me, because I wasn't watching the
You know
best.
Tibbs?
Yes, I was.
Now that's just Tibbs because they're using a fucking Nintendo 64 to project that shit on those screens.
But
Watching old.
But a nice little
Chinese
callback. A nice callback was the actor that played Biggie in this is the same one that played him in Notorious.
Oh no, that's why I tweeted. Really enjoyed the third entry into the gangster rap cinematic universe.
Yeah.
Can't wait for what did I say? Can't wait for Bone Guardians of the Galaxy or Guardians of the Harmony. Bone Guardians of the Harmony. Yeah, and then like we're gonna get the Nate Dogg spinoff. That's so great. I love that they're treating this like it's a comic book.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of weird. I think it would be hilarious if they did it that way though.
That would be great. Yeah, and then like because like Suge gets his own movie.
Yeah.
And then the fake Jada gets her own movie.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't even consult the real Jada. They just make the whole movie out of spite. It's just her being a bitch to everybody. It's just her slapping children with cancer. And
They just start making up shit through the
yeah.
entire thing. None of that stuff happened.
well, that's where I was going with the slapping kids
Yeah.
with cancer. Thanks for just pointing out my joke.
Well, you never know.
Spelling it out.
She may not. She
Not
may
letting
have
it
done
just
that.
sit.
She may have done that. I don't know. We
No,
weren't there.
I'm sorry. They're not horrible people, but they're weird people. Her and Will Smith. They're weird. Think of this.
The kids are weirder.
No, think about this. What's their daughter's name?
Willow,
What's their son's name?
Jaden,
What's their names?
Will and Jada.
They named their daughter after the father, and they named their son
after the mother.
It's fucking weird. Is that a black
That's
thing,
the
Vic?
weirdest thing about that for you?
It's just weird to me. Like it's a very
No, that's not weird at all.
At least they're real names.
no, like okay, because to me, like when you name I'm a junior. I hate it. Not a fan of it. Wish I had my own name, but I'm a junior. I'm Ronald Bradley Scott Jr. I said the full name on the show. It'll never happen again. Don't ask. That's my dad handing down his name, right?
Right.
Which is pretty egotistical in itself.
You got to remember that Will already has a son. He has an older son already.
Yeah, it's one you don't.
Is his name Will Jr.?
Yes, it's Trey actually for the third. So he's already got a son. He's already got a son named after him.
So Will Smith's a junior too.
I think so.
Yeah, the son's the third.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
You
still.
just don't hear very much about him.
He's the one they don't talk about.
Okay, but then Vic, can't you name him Eric or Jack?
Well, they wanted
Jaden.
to have.
Why couldn't she be Jada, Smith, and name their daughter after the mom, and then make him give him I don't know. I think it's pretty egotistical to just be like, we're gonna name our kids after us, but we're not gonna do it to pass down her name.
So
we're
it's
gonna
not egotistical
flip it.
to name them after. It's not egotistical to name the girl after the mother.
No, because
but it is to name it after the father.
that's accepted in society, Vic. That's how things are done. Naming your kids, weird variations of the opposite sex of your name is fucking weird.
I know plenty of people named Patrick after their mother whose name was Patricia.
Honestly, you know what the thing that bothered me the most about has bothered me the most about her recently? Like this whole thing with the Tupac movie.
That statement, isn't it?
This whole thing with the Tupac movie is let it go, Jada. And second of all, when she was bitching that Will didn't get an Oscar nomination for Concussion, I was like, did you watch that movie? I didn't know where the hell he was supposed to be from.
Tell the
accent
truth.
kept changing the whole time.
Tell the truth. Tell the truth.
Like it's not a good movie, okay? It's a boring movie. It's bad.
I still haven't watched it.
It's complete. It's so obviously exaggerated in a lot of parts that it takes away from the entire credibility of the whole film, and his accent's all over the place. He did not deserve to be in. What they did was they rode that controversy around Straight Outta Compton, which people were legitimately like, "How is this movie not more represented?" People weren't saying it needs to be Best Picture, but they were like, how is this not more represented? And Jada was like, yeah, that's right. Straight Outta Compton's being robbed, and my husband should have got an Oscar. And I bet you all the Black Lives Matters and the Oscar whiteout people were probably like, what? Wait, no. We're talking about Straight Outta Compton and my husband.
Well, it's almost as if her complaining took away from the argument that they had with the actors.
Yeah, because that's what I'm saying. It didn't come from anywhere. They had no basis.
Yeah.
We need to swing back around to Juice.
Okay, I was trying to have content at the beginning of the show, Vic, but
I'm trying to. We've gone from talking about Tupac to talking about Jada and Will, which is giving them too much coverage.
Which is when our show is at its best. There could have been a brand new Jada impression, Vic, that you just squashed.
I'm just going to say, the last time we were talking about this, you wanted nothing to do with this conversation. I'm just saying.
Well, maybe, you know what, Vic? It's summer. I'm a little more tan. I feel comfortable speaking on these matters now, okay? I look brown.
You're feeling a little more in tune?
I can always tell when I'm starting to get more sun when the more white people in Indiana start calling me terrorist.
Right.
I'm starting to get a little color to me. This, alrighty. All right. Okay. Well, I guess. Okay. Let's
do history.
Let's get the British guy out.
You keep him in a box.
I do.
It's cheaper than flying him here every episode.
It's like a British gimp. Let's get the British guy out the box.
Excuse me, sir. Do you have a British guy in a can? You do? Well, you better let him out. That's a Pennywise joke. Corey, you recognize that?
Nope, I do not.
You can go ahead and leave all this in. Who cares?
Come on, you should have said something about a horrible fucking spider making you forget all about it. Jesus.
I'm just trying to forget about that movie.
Don't jump at me.
My dog is jumping on Brad now.
All right. It was Corey, Vic. Don't let him fool you. All right, here we go.
He's trying to hump his leg.
This is now Corey's block to play after I do a Miley Cyrus impression at the end of this movie. Or at the end of this episode. Okay, here we go. And now, the Showdown Podcast history. Vic, kind of feel like we should start with you.
Honestly, I remember watching this movie back in the day. I don't really remember a whole lot about it until I rewatched it just recently for the show. So that's all I got.
All right, Corey, you got the juice now.
Okay. The first time I watched this was probably shortly after it was released on home video or HBO, somewhere around there. So, and I watched it a few times. Love the soundtrack.
All right, I got the juice now. Watched it when I was a kid on VHS, rented it from D-Rose Video, and loved it. I've seen it many times since. Love it every time I watch it. Every single time. Watched it yesterday. Loved it. Oh, no!
A wise historian.
Hold on.
Nope. We're rolling with it.
This has been the Showdown Podcast history. If he doesn't say his thing, Corey, I can't get him back into the box.
Okay. Get back in your box.
You ruined it. It was a fun thing I had going. Had to take it from me. All right. So let's talk some juice.
I got enough to go around.
Starting early.
Yeah, Vic, that's usually your cue to go into the plot, not sit there and let us have dead air for 4 seconds.
Have we forgotten something again? Don't push this on me, buddy. You forgot something.
Am I going through juice?
No. Budget?
Oh shit! No, I don't know what this budget thing you're talking about is, but it's time to play.
Bankroll!
You gotta wait for the music, Vic.
Now he's gonna come back at me, right? Yeah, I see how this works.
It's time to play Bankroll or Bust.
Welcome, folks, to another game of Bankroll or Bust, where Corey, our esteemed failure for the days, will try to decide how much the movie Juice actually made in its bankroll. Its budget was $100,000, Corey. What was its box
You
office?
get 10 grand.
Wow.
You get 10 grand leeway.
I think this is the lowest budget we've had, isn't it?
Blair Witch.
Was it?
60,000.
I'm going to go with 30 million.
Hang on, Vic.
Yep.
And you know what? Due to the movie, we have a special sound for Corey. This is what I think, Vic. Tell me.
So I fucked your bitch, you fat motherfucker.
That means he was wrong. Was I right?
He was wrong. The movie made $20.1 million in the box office.
That's not bad for me guessing.
You know what's crazy to think about?
Is that I was close?
No. They made this movie on the streets of New York.
Mm-hmm.
Or where?
Of Harlem.
Or was it really filmed in Harlem?
Yeah.
Okay, so on the streets of New York with Samuel L. Jackson, Tupac Shakur, Omar Epps, and they did it for $40,000 more than 3 white kids lost in the woods looking for a fake witch.
Not only that, but Queen Latifah, Dr. Dre, Fat Five Freddy, like there was a whole.
Yeah, some of those
slew
were
of
cameos,
people.
though.
Still, though, man, that's impressive.
They still got to pay money to get in.
100 grand.
Oh, that's true.
100 grand compared to 60 grand. 3 white kids go out in the woods and make a witch movie. 100 grand, and they're like, you know what? Yeah, give me Sam. Give me Tupac. Can we shoot a guy? Can we shoot 4 guys? Okay. So Corey is completely ignoring the podcast now, Vic. So it's just me and you. He left me there. Did you see him, Vic? Like just left me there. And in real life, he wasn't even looking at me. He couldn't even look me in the eye.
No respect. He doesn't think you have the juice, man.
He was like,
There's not enough to go around.
he was like Stallone. And I'm Michael Booker's. God, Corey!
God damn it.
I mean, how easy of a joke is that?
Bad boy killer.
How easy of a joke was that to just leave? And God, you had to step all over it. Yes, I didn't need you to correct me. Saying Michael Booker was funnier. I stand by it. All right. So, Vic,
Okay.
juice us up.
You ready to get juicy with it? All right. So this movie, this movie starts out their first introduction of the characters. We see Q, played by Omar Epps. Raheem, played by Khalil Kane.
Did you guys ever like that juicy fruit gum?
Like the ones that comes in the yellow
When I was
packs?
younger, I did, but not as I've gotten older.
No.
Huh?
The one that comes in the yellow pack? you mean?
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
loses its flavor after like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
So.
And I don't think it's really that fruity of a taste, to be honest.
No.
Like, it doesn't taste like a citrus or something like that. Or even like an island type. It doesn't have any. It just has a weird taste, right?
Yeah.
It's like they just had this weird flavor and they didn't know what to do with it, and they were like, "Well, it's not mint, so let's just call it fruit."
So here's the thing about it. The whole point of that is it makes you, like, I don't know why, but whatever they have in there, when you chew it, it makes you salivate. It literally makes your mouth juicy. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever
That sounds
realized
disgusting.
That's what it does.
I see.
But that's what it does. That's the whole point of it.
I never noticed that. I noticed when I would chew it, I would cream my jeans, but I never noticed that my mouth would salivate. That's weird. My jeans would be soaked.
What about Fruit Stripe?
I hated Fruit Stripe.
That's worse.
It lost that didn't even have flavor. You know what they did? It's like when somebody is too drunk at a bar. So what the bartender does is they put like they'll put like the straw with the drop of alcohol on the straw and put it in a Coke, so that when the really really drunk person drinks it, the first thing they taste is that alcohol, but it's just a drop,
alcohol.
and so then it's just psychologically thinking that it's alcohol.
Is that legit? Did they really do that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's what Fruit Stripes does with their gum. They just sprinkle a tiny bit of flavor on the top of it, so that when you first put it in your mouth, you're like, "Oh yeah, this is gum. This is really fruity." And then you chew it, and it just dissolves and becomes like wax, like candle wax.
I had no idea that the bartenders did that. I
Really?
wonder if- yeah.
Are you still stuck on that? Yes, Corey.
Do
You
they-
know how you do a pipette? No, listen. You know how you do a pipette? Like you grab you put the straw.
You put
in,
your finger on the
hold
top
your
of the
finger on
straw.
top of it, and it's when you do that, you put it in the alcohol, you cap it, and then you put the straw in the liquid. The straw actually doesn't release the alcohol, so when they take that first sip, it's like solid alcohol and a little bit of chased by a little bit of Coke. At that point, they're fucked up enough as it is, and they just think they're drinking a rum.
Yeah, they
Because
don't
here's the
realize
thing.
it's brilliant, but at the same time, I wonder if they charge them for a drink or they just charge them as a Coke.
Yes.
No, not all. I know good bartenders that won't.
I was a bouncer at a bar. They did that shit all the time.
I'm not saying they don't, but I'm not saying all of them do. It's not universal because
No, it's probably not universal, but I know it's done a lot.
That's cold blooded.
the person, I will say this, my friend that initially told me about this, kind of shady. He would be nice. He would just charge them for a Coke, but he wouldn't ever ring it up. He would just keep it as a tip. He's like, I got to deal with the asshole, so. But no, yeah, because when you're that drunk, all you're really like when somebody hands you a new drink, it's just like
You don't realize you're not getting drunker.
Well, no, you take that drink and you're like, oh yeah, of course this is alcohol.
Yeah.
And everybody else around you's like,
And then they're done. Yeah.
It makes sense. Wow. Learn something new every day on the Showdown podcast, folks.
There you go.
So yes, go ahead, Vic.
All right, so we meet Steele, played by Jermaine Hopkins, and Bishop, played by Tupac Shakur. Basically, they're getting up in the morning. We kind of see what their everyday life is, what their family life seems to be like, and how each of them interact with their adult counterparts. And they head out for school, which they never seem to go to.
Oh, hold on, Vic. That sound means we actually have breaking NBA Miami Heat free agency news. It
What?
looks as though Dion Waiters is coming back to South Beach. Not only that, looks like he is going the discounted rate. Looks like he's going to be making $52 million over 4 years, which is just $13 million a year. Probably a backloaded contract, but still a good contract for both sides involved. He gets his long-deserved payday after a great second half of the year. The Miami Heat keep their cap flexibility, and they get hopefully what can become another overvaluing of his contract. He'll be worth more than his contract.
Right here is literally going to town on a fucking interruption of the podcast that normally he would be throwing a hissy fit at one of us for. If your phone rang or I got a text message during the fucking of the podcast, this motherfucker right here would be going haywire on our asses.
Wait.
And he does that shit without even blinking when it comes through on his.
Wait. Does it make a difference if, Vic, that wasn't my notification sound? That was me going to find the NBA on NBC theme and creating a notification for our show of whenever we get NBA news in. So that wasn't my phone accidentally had a notification come through and I just needed to ride it out. That was me choosing to interrupt the show.
And thanks for interrupting something that now that this episode is out, that's 2 weeks old.
You like Miami teams?
I like one Miami team.
The Heat. How could you not love them?
Nope.
You know what I like? Talking about juice.
All right.
So,
you know what, Vic? You got the juice now. Hold on, Vic. Hold on, Vic. I feel really bad. But I was so excited. I saw an alert come in. I was super excited. But Vic, that was horrible of me. So you know what, Vic? I'm sorry, but
you got the juice now, man.
Go ahead.
So, as I was saying...
Hey, Vic, real quick. Would you say that I was crazy for interrupting you talking about this movie?
Yes. I feel like this is a loaded fucking question.
If you ever fucking call me crazy again, I'll blow your fucking brains out.
I ran into an old girlfriend.
Okay, I didn't know what the third sound clip was. That was just me checking it. It's coming up later. Sorry, Vic. You got the juice now.
All right. So, instead of going to school like they should be doing, they end up running the streets of Harlem, just kind of doing shit. They're, trading insults with rival, crews. There's a Puerto Rican crew that seems to be after Bishop for some reason.
Is this black kids?
No.
It's kind of like
I don't mean like are they black kids? I mean like is this the
movie kids?
Yeah, the urban version of kids.
I was gonna say the Warriors.
I don't think so.
The Warriors?
Yeah.
Nah.
That far.
I feel like it's way closer to kids than Warriors. Urban kids.
Yeah.
What do you think it's closer to, Vic? Urban Warriors or Urban Kids?
I think Urban Kids is closer than Urban Warriors because Urban Warriors is literally Urban Warriors.
And I mean, there's an Urban Warriors movie? That's just a Warrior movie?
That's what it is.
It's about a bunch of urban city kids running around the city fucking with each other. It's
You had all sorts of different gangs.
But there's a lot of white kids, right?
But there's a lot of
different
white
demographics
kids in New York, so.
It's true.
Anyway.
And one of them has HIV. Well, two of them now, maybe three.
But there was no guy without legs.
So they're running around Harlem, causing problems. They're having arguments with other crews, hanging out at the pool hall / arcade, evading insurance officers and hitting on girls, and shoplifting records. While he distracts the girl at the counter. So basically, they're just little troublemakers. I don't think they're anything major. I don't think they're on anybody's real radar. Because when Steele does get caught by the truancy officers, he manages to just walk the fuck out of there. So I don't think.
Yeah, it made me think. I was like, what are they running for? They don't want to sit in a room for a half hour. Like that's what's causing them to jump rooftop to rooftop. They don't want to sit somewhere.
I mean, you also don't know how much trouble they may have gotten into before, and they might. I mean,
I guess also they could call
like
parents.
They could go to
Steel
juvie.
seems like the probably the I guess less troublesome of the group, whereas the other two are probably the real troublemakers, and we'll see as it goes on. But yeah, so they take off, and nobody wants to get caught by the fucking cops. Because that goes on your record one way or the other.
Doesn't Steel feel like the wishbone of the group, like the Bone Thugs and Harmony, like the Wish? He's like the Wish. Miss my Uncle Charles, yo. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. I didn't know that's who did that part.
I don't want you to be silent today.
I wouldn't be able to figure out which one's which anyway when they sing.
Wish is the fat one.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Steel, yeah.
Busy's the light-skinned one. Crazy's crazy. And then Lazy is the kind of the in-between Busy and Crazy shade. And he's
Shade?
Like his skin color.
They're all increasingly lighter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Wish or no. Well, no, Wish is probably like your starting point, and then it goes Crazy, Lazy, Busy. Busy's by far the lightest.
I knew the names, but I could never sit there and say, "Oh, that's so and so."
You know why? You know the fact that you don't know their names.
No, I know the names.
This is why thugs cry. All right, Vic. They escape the truancy officers, and
they escape the truancy officers, and they go out to they steal some records for Q to use for his DJing, his sideline of DJing, and they end up stopping by a bar, and it's apparently Q's turn to go in and get cigarettes for them. So he goes in to get cigarettes. He comes across their friend named Blizzard, who basically holds up this bar slash I guess it's an old school check cashing place, and he's like, "Hey, do you want a piece of this?" He's like, "You have to pardon me for a minute. I'm going to rob this place." He's like, "You want a piece of this?" And Q dips out, and that's when we find out that Bishop is really kind of looking to get himself into some trouble because he wants to go in and get part of it and get in with Blizzard on that, and the rest of the crew talk him out of it, and they take off for Steele's house to get something to eat and chill because Steele's parents are never home.
I'm sorry, listeners. I keep hitting the mic and the table. I'm sorry. I am trying my best.
Yeah, remember that when you go back to listen.
Too?
Yes, he has been.
Sorry, Vic.
So after a fight so basically they head back to Steele's house. They chill for a little while. Steele makes the most disgusting thing I've ever seen in my life, which is basically Schlitz, eggs, hot sauce, and bacon. And
that's what I had for breakfast.
It turns my stomach. But they chow for a minute, and then basically Bishop and Q get into it again. They start butting heads, and Raheem steps in because he's kind of the peacemaker of the crew. He wants them all to stay together, but they start arguing because they realize, I guess Bishop figures out that, they're not in control of their lives. He wants to be able to do what he wants when he wants and have control of his life. But they're fucking 16 and 17 years old, so they really don't have any control of their lives at the moment. But he doesn't think that that's right. So he's talking about doing shit, and basically they get into this argument because they hear on the radio that the dude Blizzard was killed in a gunfight with the cops after robbing the store. Your bird is like.
Is that picking up?
Yeah.
Oh. There's a cameo on this episode.
Corey's worst nightmare.
It was literally sounded like it was yelling Corey. I was like, it's coming.
Just leave it. Just leave it. They've already heard it. It's not like it'll be even weirder if the bird's not there for the rest of the episode. They're like, did they kill that bird?
Maybe.
Or is there carbon monoxide in the Miller Zoo?
Oh man.
Boys, the parakeet has stopped singing.
It's a parrot, but whatever.
Yeah, that's the important part.
Yeah. We have a love-hate relationship.
All right, so Vic.
So they get into a big argument, and it goes on, and Raheem gets them to chill out and kind of shake and make up. And then the next morning, Raheem tells them, "Hey, we have a meeting. We need to get together. We have a plan." And Q tells him, "Look, I can't do that. I'm heading to this audition for this DJ competition that I'm going to be in." And he's like, "Cool, go to your competition and show up afterwards. We'll talk about it." When he gets there after the competition, because he does end up getting the gig, which is going to be that Saturday night, he shows up and they all like, hey, we're gonna rob the corner store, which the corner bodega is where they always kind of meet up, and that's where Bishop is constantly getting his ass fucking attacked by the Puerto Rican gang. And the old man that runs the place, who really didn't look that old to me, he comes out with a gun and talks about shooting their dicks off or whatever on a constant basis. So they're like, we're going to get in there, we're going to rob the place. You know, they kind of Bishop staked it out and figured out the cops' routines, how often they switch up and what they should do. So they're like, we're going to go in there on Saturday night. He's like, and Q was like, I can't. I got a gig. I'm going to be doing that DJ thing. And they're like, no, fucker, you got to do this with us. He's like, I can't. I got an obligation. And they're like, well, then we're going to use you as the cover. So they all go to the DJ competition, and then they break out and they go and rob the the corner store. And when they go in, Steele's dumbass ends up saying Raheem's name, and they rob the guy, and fucking Bishop decides, I'm going to be a hard ass and I'm just going to shoot him for no good reason, and he blames it on Steele for saying Raheem's name, and that the dude knew who they were, and he was going to catch him, he was going to get him busted, so he shot him. And in that argument, Raheem got tired of his shit, and he's like, look, you went too far, and him and Bishop get into a fight, and he ends up shooting Bishop also. He's just fucking gone gun crazy. He just starts shooting everybody. So they all take off. They go back to the DJ competition, and he starts spinning. And the cops show up like fucking minutes later because for whatever reason they knew exactly where they were gonna fucking be. I still haven't figured that part out. So they grab them. They take them in. They start interrogating them. Fucking Bishop is a psychopath. Like, I don't know, what do they call people like him?
Psychopaths?
Oh, there's another name for it.
Sociopaths.
A sociopath. He literally is just smiling like nothing happened. Like he just killed his best friend and murdered some dude, and he's just like, yeah, it's cool. I'm good. I told the cops that he was doing some shit down in the basement of the thing, and of course, Steele is cracking like a fucking egg, and they're roughing his ass up. They're trying to get him to squeal, and he won't. And he actually holds on, and they get a hold of Q, and they interrogate him. And he's just kind of like, I think he was more in shock than being an ass about it. He's like, I don't know, man. I haven't seen him. Like, he was there with us, and then he was gone. He's like, I don't know. So the cops end up letting him go. And the next scene is Raheem's funeral. So his mom and his sister are there, and this is where the real sociopathic fucking nature of Bishop shows up. His ass has the nerve to walk up to Raheem's mom and was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry about your son's death." Like all this shit. I was like, dude, that's fucked up. For him to just walk up and be like, "Oh yeah, I don't know what happened. This is a tragedy. I'm so sad," and he knows he's the one that fucking pulled the trigger. So we get through that, and Q is steadily like, this dude's fucked, and he starts to distance himself from Bishop, knowing that he's fucking going crazy. And at one point, the Puerto Rican gang shows up and corners him again in front of the same fucking bodega that they robbed. And the cops show up as they're starting to beat him up, and he's reaching for the gun. He takes off, and he chases down the leader of the Puerto Rican gang, and basically he's like, "Yeah, we got away." When the dude turns around, he fucking caps him. And shoots him like 5 or 6 times and then walks off like nothing happened. So he's fucking lost his shit. Q he doesn't want anything to do with him, so he tells his little brother to tell him he's not home. When they saw him getting ready to get his ass whipped, him and Steele turned around and walked away. So at this point, Bishop is just like, I'm on my own. So he concocts a plan to basically frame Q for everything that went down, and he catches Steele trying to go home, and he takes him back into an alley and shoots him, and then goes to I forgot, shit, you let me go through this whole thing without ever talking about Trip. So Trip is the owner of the pool hall / arcade that they hang out at, and he's played by Samuel L. Jackson. And one of my favorite scenes in the movie is when he comes out from the audition with Queen Latifah and gets the job. Like 2 minutes later, he walks past Trip, and he's like, "Yo, I heard you got that DJ gig. Good job, blah blah blah." He starts to walk away, and when he gets 3 steps, he stops for a second and looks at him like, "How the fuck do you know that? I literally just walked out of there." And all he does is look at him and points at his ear. And he's like, I hear everything, motherfucker. And he just walks away. I thought that was like one of the best scenes of the movie. So he shoots Steel. He starts to frame. He starts to lay the foundation of framing Q for everybody, for Raheem's death and for Steel's death. What he doesn't know is Steel didn't die. He apparently just gets up and walks out in the street and falls over, and they take him to the hospital, and they actually saved him, and he got to tell everybody what happened to him beforehand. So when he confronts, he gets ready to go to confront Bishop, and he goes and gets a gun first from this lady named Sweets, and she's like, how much money you got? He's like $25. And ironically, she grabs a 25 out of the freezer and hands it to him. He's like, "Are you Loretta's son?" And he's like, "Yeah." She's like, "Tell her Deborah said hi or some shit." And he's like, "All right." And he walks out with the gun. So he ends up confronting Bishop, and Bishop is like, "I heard you got a gun." He's like, "Where is it?" And he's like, "I got rid of it." And Bishop basically tries to kill him. So he chases him down. He fires like 10 fucking shots at him, hits him in the arm once, and chases him into a house party, where he catches him in the elevator. And fucking Q probably did one of the smartest things I've seen in a movie. Like, instead of just letting the shit kind of play out and not letting anyone see that dude had a gun, he just challenged him. He's like, "What, are you going to shoot me right here in front of everybody?" He pulls out the gun and everybody flips the fuck out and like fights him, like pushes him out of the elevator. And now everyone knows that fucking Bishop had the gun, so he kind of covered his own ass in that respect. And he chases him up into the roof. They have at it, and very reminiscent scene from another movie we've covered that had Tupac Shakur in it. He goes over the edge of the building, and Q is holding on to him, or trying to hold on to him, and he's like, "Don't let me go, don't let me go," and he's trying to hold him, but he can't hold him, and he lets him go, and he falls into the darkness, and you just hear a thud, and he walks away. And as he's walking away, we get that fucking freeze frame that drives me nuts.
That's your favorite.
But then they recovered because they then go back and start showing flashbacks of the four of them interacting and hanging out. So they kind of recovered that. But it's a good movie.
Now, man.
The soundtrack was pretty good. It kind of fit the actions that were going on. But yeah,
You got the juice now, man.
So that's where we're at. That's how the movie ends.
You got the juice now, man. You got the juice now, man. You got the juice now, man.
Okay.
One of my favorite parts was a long time ago when Vic was talking, when they were in the police station being interrogated, and the cop they're asking Bishop what he was doing in the club.
No, I went to the basement for a little while. Basement for? I ran into an old girlfriend.
So what were you doing down in the basement?
It doesn't do justice audio, but when you watch that scene and the cop is so sincere in his face with like, what'd you do down there? You know, it's like, it's not like trying to just get information. It's what happened? Did you touch your penis?
Like he was like really into the story.
He's like, draw me a picture.
Did you toss it up? Was it unconditional love?
Was there a gimp down
When
there?
you left, were there so many tears? Did she feel like it was, her against the world? Was it temptations for her to come back to you? Do you make her feel like you guys are two of America's most wanted? And when she gets sad, do you tell her to keep her head up and that I ain't mad at you because I get around? California love.
Does it make her feel like the prince from Machiavelli? So, first of all, did anyone else notice how badly they tried to make, or how often they tried to make Steel look like Biggie?
Oh, yeah, with the hat.
With the red and black lumberjack, like constantly.
Yeah.
Or, like the striped shirt, like everything about him. It was like they were trying to make a little Biggie.
No, but to be fair, Vic, wasn't every black dude in that time frame, the early 90s, trying to kind of just look like Biggie because they're like, oh, well, Biggie figured it out how to look fat and be a player.
Okay, so first of all, yes, he did create a style that people tried to emulate, but if you notice that Steel was the only one that was doing that in the whole movie. So
he's the only fat one.
It was rather singular.
He looked up to Biggie.
Well, here's the thing, though, Vic. Everybody thought Biggie was creating this style. But truth be told,
he was just being himself.
No.
Shit. Did I step on something?
Did you step on? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me right now? Did it not seem like maybe I was on my way somewhere?
Vic, this is one of the things I like doing the Miller Times with you, because this never happens.
Like, I mean,
seriously, we've got two comical geniuses sitting in the same room, so it's kind of hard to not step on the other's feet.
So repeat your little joke there. Repeat your little joke, Corey.
Oh, I forgot what it was now.
Vic, you remember?
He said he was just being himself.
Yeah.
What's his statement?
You know where I was going with? I was heading down the road of Biggie. Everybody thinks Biggie created this style, but really he was sewing tigers on his shirts and alligators. If you want to see the inside, he'll see you later. That's a Biggie verse, Corey.
We're going for the verse.
From Sky's the Limit. Familiar?
Mm-hmm.
He went from ashy to classy.
Okay.
You couldn't let me have it. I'm starting to think he's jealous of all the attention the host of the showdown gets. Remember when we got that? Remember when we got that like people that the one time we actually won an award where somebody listened to the podcast first and gave us actual notes and what they did and didn't like, and we're pretty much on the money. With like, yeah, you guys sound like you're recording with a poorly placed single microphone in the middle of the table like that. Remember the other one? The host is amazing. Such a great job. I think ever since then, Vic, Corey's been plotting. And he's like,
it's all rounded up to this.
It's a long con.
Yeah, he's gonna. It's like he's putting glass in my food. I haven't realized it's been happening until it's too late, and now my stomach's bleeding from the inside. He's been just stepping on jokes, right? Taking him away from. That's his plan. He's like, you know what? He thinks he's so hot because he's the host, but it's all those jokes that make him so hot. I know. No one will get the jokes. No one will get laughs on this show. He's like in a children's cartoon. He's the evil like laugh stealer, like handlebar mustache, black top hat. No laughs for anyone.
I'm just sitting over twirling my mustache.
No, but he'll gladly set himself up right and left. Bam.
Right.
Beep bop and scatting all over me.
I'm surprised you haven't hooked him on the statement that he just made of two comic geniuses sitting in the same room.
Thanks, Vic. I was hoping that would go unnoticed.
Oh,
Vic,
no. You said it. It's not going unnoticed.
Vic, I didn't say that I'm too big to listen to the rumors. I just said that I'm too big to pay attention to them. Lions do not concern themselves with the opinions of sheep. I should be wearing an Affliction shirt when I say that. Like one should just automatically appear on my body. I got to find a new douchier shirt though. Affliction's. I don't think anybody's wearing Affliction anymore. Tap out? Is that just the next Affliction?
Yeah, but then a lot of WWE wrestlers are wearing tap out now. So
okay, you know what? When you know what I would tell the people that told me that? I'd say, okay, well, when you win the Intercontinental title, by all means, buy you some tap out shit. What? You don't do that? What? You work at a toll booth, huh? Okay, so
Jesus.
We've
come to the end of the movie.
We have, and I mean, what it all taught us was that.
You got the juice now, man.
And we'll be right back.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
It's commercial time. You know what, Corey?
Yes.
Tupac was very much an empathetic person.
Was he?
He had a lot of feelings. Like, he felt for people. He took care of a lot of his friends and everything else. So maybe in his honor, his spirit, I should let you go first and not be a jerk and cut you off. So, Corey, in honor of Pac, Go ahead.
She tells me that she leaves me, cries when she leaves me.
Oh my God! I was gonna actually let you go first, but that thug life has got back to me, and you started singing. Vic, turn your bandana around and tell people where they can find you.
Against all odds, you can find me online as MillerKing51 on social media. You can also find me playing all games anytime on any console as Black and Angry. That's BLAQ, the letter N, and Angry.
All right, Corey.
Yes.
I want you to go ahead.
Are you sure?
And picture me rolling as I click like on Comedian Brad Scott on Facebook, or go to Instagram and Twitter at Brad Scott Comedy, or go to bradscottcomedy.com and get them all in one place. Also check out the funny videos and check out at WrestleMania Pod on Twitter and Instagram. It's the WrestleMania Podcast. It's a comedians talking about wrestling. It's not pro wrestling talk. It's sports entertaining. All right, Corey.
You don't recognize me, but you can find me on Twitter and Letterboxd at NKO Gonzo.
Just gonna play the angriest Tupac song. Go ahead.
As I said before, you can find me on Twitter and Letterboxd at NKO Gonzo. Also, be sure to check out Vic and I's other podcast, the Miller Times Podcast, where we review TV shows that we've watched during the week and give our unadulterated opinions on what we thought of those particular episodes. You can find that on Twitter as well as at the Miller Times Pod. Or Miller Times Pod. Fuck, I don't remember. Doesn't matter. Just find it. You'll find it.
I want so badly for my faux to make sure all y'all kids don't grow. It's a lyric from this song. I wasn't speaking about your literal child, Corey.
No, I realize that.
In this showdown world, none of us have kids except for I do, because mine's been on the show.
Yeah.
I'm the only one that's officially had a child.
And even though we've mentioned them before, they don't really exist.
Well, no, but nobody can trust you guys. They haven't been on the show.
Oh, that's true.
Get Lil on the show, and then you know what? Maybe then she's in.
She barely talks to me. You think she's going to talk into a microphone about a movie?
It's kind of the Showdown Podcast, WrestleMania, Miller Time Cinematic Universe.
Yeah.
We'll introduce all these other characters now, the children.
Yeah.
Nice.
They call it Teen Showdown, and then they'll get Teen Showdown Go.
They make them all into fucking cartoon characters.
Yes, thank you, Vic, for being a true comic book person. All right. What the fuck am I doing? We have to go back into this. Shut up, all of you. All right, here we go. Vic?
Yes. Okay, so...
No, Vic, I gotta...
What?
I meant here we go, be quiet. I'm going to start... That was just the commercials.
Look, you said my name straight up.
Shh. So I can start Hail Mary so we can come back.
Vic's like he's got...
I wasn't saying anything when you said that. That's why I responded.
Vic's got ADD. You just say his name. Okay, yeah, here's what we do. He just
Okay.
goes right into his spiel.
All right.
Machiavellian is Illuminati all through your body. The blows like a 12-gauge shot. Feel me? And God said he should send his one.
Welcome back to the Showdown Podcast. Corey has never been so happy to hear my voice. That is Hail Mary. This is a Tupac-centric episode. And of course, we were talking about Juice, and so now it is time to find out if Juice
Juice now, man.
Don't say
has
it.
the juice now.
God damn it, he said it.
Vic, you go ahead. Does Juice have the juice?
All right, so my take on this movie, I always find it funny that you two are always the one to suggest these movies. Watch it again. I haven't seen it in many, many years, like I said. Actually enjoyed the movie. I thought I wasn't going to, honestly, because I thought it was just going to be like a replay of a lot of the same, urban, quote-unquote, teenage urban movies. But I actually enjoyed it. It tells a good story. There's a little bit of action in there, not a lot, but it gives you kind of a good feel for the different, kind of people that are in those environments. So I enjoyed it, and I was surprised that I did. So I actually think it survives.
I'm just going to get right to the point. Juice has the juice now. it survives. It goes in to the Hall of Fame, and as we all know, when a movie survives, it gets our.
I ain't got no motherfucker. So I fucked your bitch, you fat.
This is Pac. He's about that thug life. He ain't going to the Hall of Fame. No Destiny's Child.
Well, neither did Jaws.
Huh?
Neither did Jaws. He didn't go in with Beyonce either.
Jaws the shark. It'll be cool. So anyway, yeah. Juice goes into the Hall of Fame. Great movie. Oh, yeah. By the way, okay, so real quick, two things. One, since I got called out on this, Corey didn't watch the movie. That's why he didn't give his Survivor Series results, and he couldn't have been happier and more excited to say, oh, well, since you guys already know you're going to put it in, just do that so I don't have to do more work. So since I got called out on it for Coming to America, I'm calling you out right now. Corey didn't watch the movie, guys. And then I have been horrible this episode. Like, I mean, my content's been pretty good. I've hit some funny stuff. But as far as like physics, the practicality of it, I've hit the mic over and over again. I chewed during, I think.
No, not in this one.
Well, whenever the last episode was recorded. I'm tired, guys. I'm suffering a little bit of fatigue. I got a lot of work to do tonight. I got to go meet somebody for work when I leave here. So it's me. I'll be better, I promise. But this one, like, here's what happened, Corey. Because Corey was getting so mad. I wish you guys could have seen him. He was so mad, especially this last time. It's like this, Corey. Sometimes when you have a bad shooting game, even in the third quarter, you just say, fuck it, I'm going to have a bad shooting game.
We're back to the fucking basketball.
So I just started chucking up shots like Dion Waiters, fresh new member of the Miami Heat.
2 weeks ago.
Sorry.
Fucking hell.
Fresh still member of your Miami Heat. So I think, is this the show?
I think so.
Vic, is this the show?
It's the show.
So Juice goes into the Hall of Fame, and you know what? For all those movies out there, real quick, we actually have two things we want to talk about. One, each of us give what we think there's 3 Tupac movies that we can remember off the top of our heads right now that are left. We have Gridlocked, Gang Related, and Poetic Justice. I'll go first, which what I think we should be the next movie that we do, and I'm going to go Poetic Justice. You would think I would go Gridlocked because I like that movie more, but Poetic Justice I think has better music and maybe more interesting shit to talk about. So that would be my vote. Vic?
I'm going to say Gang Related because Poetic Justice, I don't feel like telling that whole fucking story.
Yeah, but don't you realize then I get to play the song Again by Janet Jackson like 80 times like they do in the movie, and then it's going to become a great reoccurring joke. Plus, okay, so Vic says Gang Related. I say Poetic Justice. Corey, what would you say?
I haven't seen any of the movies. I've seen a little bit
Excellent work.
of Poetic Justice, but I like Tim Roth, so I'm going to go with Gridlocked.
Okay, so here's the thing that we want to talk about that Corey doesn't know about. Vic and I think we may have come up with a good nickname for me and him. We became like buddy cops,
Right.
and it's we're not sure which way to go. It's gonna be either mashed potatoes and gravy, or just potatoes and gravy. The reason I say there's a second option is because I worry that if we're mashed potatoes and gravy, it can confuse people and they wouldn't know whether to call me, mash, MP, taters, So I think potatoes and gravy has a good ring to it, and I feel like that's our buddy cop thing, like our lethal weapons, potatoes and gravy.
I like mashed potatoes better. Simply because you don't generally eat regular potatoes with you don't put gravy on regular potatoes.
Dude, haven't you ever seen a poutine?
No.
Okay, solid point by Corey. So Vic, it's obviously potatoes and gravy. That's it. That's the official name. If we could get some Showdown people to create us some, maybe movie posters or something, that would be awesome for potatoes and gravy. They're on the case. They're smothering it. And they'll get to the heart of everything.
Yeah.
Bacon.
We'll solve the case.
All right. So I figured we would, close out this episode with, like a little bit of me singing Tupac.
Do we have to?
Nah, you know what? You're right. That's dumb.
Yeah. So he's going to do it anyway.
This has been the Showdown Podcast. Thank you so much for listening. Please go check us out on social media and iTunes and wherever you're listening. Rate and review us. That would be helpful. For Corey Miller.
Yep.
Vic Miller.
Yep.
I'm Brad Scott.
No relation.
Thank you for joining us.
I got no love for these niggas. There's no need to be friends. They got me under surveillance. I swear somebody can tell it. No, there's no being so. But I ain't one telling. Don't want to be another number. I got a
You got the juice now, buddy. You got some juice on you right there. Let me cleanse that for you there, Bishop. Pew, pew, pew.
Crazy, man. You know what? When you said that last time, I was kind of tripping, right? But now, you're right. I am crazy. But you know what else? I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck about you. I don't give a fuck about Steele. And I don't give a fuck about Raheem either. I don't give a fuck about myself. Look, I ain't shit. I ain't never gonna be shit. And you less of a man than me, so as soon as I decide that you ain't gonna be shit, pow, so be it. You remember that, motherfucker. Because I'm the one y'all need to be worried about. Partner.